Hey everybody, this is Death by D4, and welcome to my guide on how to play as the Life Cleric subclass in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's a lot to go over, so be sure to subscribe and let's dive right on in. When you take this subclass at first level, you get your domain spells, which expands the number of spells available to you as a cleric. Best of all, these spells don't count towards your spell preparation limit, meaning that you'll always have access to them whenever you need them. Of the selection made available to you, I'm going to give a special shout out to, well, all of them, as they're all just awesome spells for you to have access to as a cleric. You also gain proficiency in heavy armor at first level, which is absolutely something that you should take advantage of as soon as possible. Finally, as your last first level feature, you get Disciple of Life, which increases the potency of any healing spells that you cast by 2 plus your spell's level. Not what I would actually consider to be a huge benefit overall, but it's actually a really big bonus for you to receive towards any of your lower level healing spells. At second level, you get a new feature for your channel divinity, being Preserve Life, which allows you to use your action to target any creature within 30 feet of you and restore a cumulative amount of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric's level. However, this feature cannot restore a creature to more than half of its hit point maximum, and has no effect on constructs or undead creatures. Admittedly, the limitations of this channel divinity are pretty strict in general. However, just having the ability to send out a wave of healing to all of your allies as a resource that you can regain on a short rest is pretty good. Either way, if you don't plan on using your other channel divinity features, then try and prioritize using this feature whenever possible, as doing so will be far more efficient for you in general. At 6th level, you get Blessed Healer, which extends the effects of your Disciple of Life feature to yourself whenever you heal another creature using one of your spells. Certainly not a crazy feature by any stretch of the imagination, but a really nice way to keep yourself stabilized while you're still prioritizing your allies' well-being first. At 8th level, you get Divine Strike, which allows you to deal an additional 1d8 radiant damage once per turn whenever you hit a creature with a weapon attack, dealing 2d8 radiant damage instead once you reach 14th level. Definitely a really nice feature for you to have, though arguably not as incredible considering you already have access to a decent array of cantrips. However, if you ever find yourself within melee range of a target, then this should at least help provide a more reliable source of damage for you. Either way, this is still a really nice feature for you to get, and one that you'll probably be glad that you have for later on. Finally, at 17th level, you get Supreme Healing, which makes any healing spells that you cast that restore an amount of healing based on a die roll heal for their maximum amount possible instead. Wow! I'm not gonna lie, but this feature is absolutely ridiculous. At this point, the amount of healing that you can provide now is just shot up through the roof. That means you can cast spells like Cure Wounds now to consistently heal for 16 hit points, or Mass Cure Wounds for a consistent 36 to multiple people. That is just insane. Absolutely another amazing feature for you to get, and one that makes for a great capstone feature for this particular subclass. Alright, so that does it for all the subclass features. Now on just a few of my own personal recommendations concerning it. Obviously, the entire premise of this subclass revolves around using your spells to heal and support your party. However, though you should still try and do that, don't let anybody else tell you that that's all you should be doing during combat. After all, clerics are just as capable of dealing damage as they are for mitigating it. In fact, it should be noted that you can utilize your bonus action for combat by casting Spiritual Weapon, as that will then allow you to heal people and attack on the same turn. Either way, just make sure that you try and strike a balance between your offensive and defensive capabilities whenever possible. That way you'll always be contributing something useful to the party. As for your channel divinity, a good way to make use of it is actually to do it just before your party takes a short rest. That way you get it back immediately and you can help conserve some of the party's hit dice when they recover, allowing them to last a little bit longer during any kind of lengthy adventure. As for your ability scores, since you gain proficiency in heavy armor, you should definitely prioritize increasing your strength score over your dexterity, and likely aim to use a melee weapon over a ranged one. Of course, you could still use a ranged weapon, but just remember that you already have good ranged options available to you in the form of your cantrips, so it would just be a lot more efficient for you to completely ignore your dexterity score altogether. That said, if you really want to use a ranged weapon, just remember that your Divine Strike feature will still work with it, as it does not specify that it'll only work with a melee weapon, so that's pretty nice. Finally, let's talk about feats. Now, if you really want to go all in on the healer theme for your character, then consider buying yourself a healer's kit and taking the healer feat, as this will just grant you another great way of providing support for the party during your adventures. Otherwise, since you have heavy armor proficiency, you could also take Heavy Armor Master, as this will help nullify any chip damage that you receive during combat. Sure, it may not seem like a whole lot, but if it's enough to outpace your Blessed Healer feature, then it's still totally worth it. And that's it. If you liked the video, then be sure to subscribe and let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you'd like to have the chance to play D&D with me, then feel free to join my Discord server, and consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next video.